America.
Welcome to the Costa Mesa Pettis Perspective. My name is Jeff Pettis. This is episode 33. Thanks for watching, as usual. And please take a minute to just subscribe, like this video, and share it to your Facebook pages or wherever you might be on social media. It's helpful for us to track algorithms, see who's watching and when, all that good stuff. So today I'm going to talk about the 22nd City Council meeting. This is episode 33, as I mentioned. And tonight what we're going to talk about is nothing to do with the actual content of the meeting last night. Tonight I want to talk about the state of the city in terms of elections coming up in November. What are we in now? June. So right now, as it sits, we have 3 seats or 3 city council vacancies up and 1 mayoral seat up for re-election in November. And those are obviously Stevens mayor seat, districts 3, 4, and 5. So that's half of the city council, half the city. District 3, Andrea Marr. District 4, Manny Chavez. District 5, Arliss Reynolds. And the disturbing thing to me about this is so far we have no papers being pulled for any of the open council seats. And what I mean by papers being pulled is that's a term used, the city clerk, when you go to put your name in for candidates, you fill out all the paperwork, you pull the papers with Miss Green. So none of the districts 3, 4, and 5, as of the time of making of this video, have pulled papers for any of the district seats. There's one guy for the mayor's seat. His name's William Cox. Super Sleuth Wife Tech Advisor has not been able to find much on him. Not to say that he's good or bad. We just can't find much information on him. Against William Cox, pulled papers for mayor. Hegema Abraham pulled she took her papers back, meaning she will not be a candidate. So this is disturbing to me. And first, what I want to do is answer the question to those, not everybody on here, that those would think, what does city council do? Why should I care? What does it matter? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm not talking from a partisan point of view right now, because right now as it sits, it's a 6-1, 6 versus 1. Yes, that's down party lines, but the point is it's 6 against 1 on council. Basically, they can do whatever they want. There's no stopping it. It's a blank slate. And why should you care? I'm going to read off a few things here that council has done over the last couple of years that should matter to individual John Q. citizens here in Costa Mesa. The City Council awarded $200 million in city projects to only union contractors. Another way of saying that will increase costs by 15 to 30%. This actual practice is banned in 28 states out of 50 in the union, by the way. And the reason that was done was the City Council members in total received $165,000 in campaign contributions from these unions that received the $200 million in contracts. So that should care to any private contractor, anybody that cares about controlling costs, anybody that cares about anything having to do with money in the city. The council approved One Metro West 1,100-unit apartment complex without consideration of 500 citizens that I was a big part of this petition, not for or against, but just citizens expressing their concerns. So that was voted through. Rezoned our city to allow for 11,760 new dwelling units, apartments, to be developed. This means 31,752 new renters with 40% reserved for low-income residents. This has major consequences to the city budget. Also, approved up to 4 dwelling units in R1 neighborhoods. R1 is another way of saying single-family neighborhoods. I live on the east side. Most of the east side is R1. Single family, grass, fence, family lives there. Up to 4 of these have been rezoned in throughout Costa Mesa to have multi-unit, 4 apartments on one plot. Approved our city to purchase a local hotel that's the Motel 6 on Newport there, for low-income housing. Let's just be honest, government-run housing is never a good idea. Removal of the citizenship requirement to serve on our planning commission. You need not be a citizen of the U.S. to help plan our city. Formed an ad hoc committee. An ad hoc committee means the council says, here, make a committee, which is, in this case, Jeff Harlan, Andrea Marr, Define a strategy to get around Measure Y. Measure Y limits building without voter approval and passed with 68% approval in 2016. Measure Y did. Appointed our current mayor. So Stevens wasn't elected, he was appointed in the early morning hours with no special election and review of other candidates. Our current mayor, Stevens, lost his seat in the last election by a 6-4 margin, his council seat. Those that knew his policies best did not vote for him. Those are just a few reasons that I took some notes on why you should care for what happens in city council. Again, right now it's a 6-1 majority, and I have nobody pulling papers to run for council. And a lot of people think to themselves, I don't know how to run for council. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I don't know how to do it. No, I can't win. It'll cost too much money. And I'm going to finish off by just giving you my story really quickly for those that don't know. So right about now in 2020, I had been considering for a couple cycles prior to run for council in District 6. I live in the east side here. And I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do it. And I wanted to do it because I care about the city and I care about what happens here. And so just about every major player in the city, I won't name names, they know who they are, including some of the major political groups here, said, you know, you need to get out. You can't win. You don't have any endorsements. You need to have endorsements to win. You need to have X amount of dollars to win. Nobody's going to vote for you. You need to get out. And what I did is ran anyway. I had one endorsement, and I sit on the board of that endorsement now, the Orange County Gun Owner PAC. And thank you, OCGO. And I had no other endorsements. I raised, $10, $20 at a time. I think I raised $7,000 from some shaking down my family, talking to my friends. Got enough for signs and one mailer and some texts, I think. And I came in second place to Jeff Harlan. Now, I was 2,000 people voted for me. I was nobody. Nobody knew who I was. Threw up some signs and went straight to the people, went to the park, talked to people, advertised things online, talked directly to the people, forgot about the endorsements about halfway through. I said it was a worthless endeavor. Had the other two candidates in my lane, and by the way, everybody tried to tell me to get out of the way for them. Had they not been in the race with me, the total number of votes, I believe those votes would have gone to me, and I believe I would have beat Jeff Harlan. Pretty certain that would have been true. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because you can run and you can win. It's doable now that there's districts. It was different back when it was all for, every man for himself running the whole city. Now you have small districts. You walk your own district, you put up some mailers, you put up some signs, and you ask people for their vote. And it's doable. And I'm really, really disturbed that we don't have any papers, but we need candidates for districts 3, 4, and 5 and mayor. The reason is we need to balance out this council. Forget about Democrat versus Republican. Forget about any of that. Regardless of where you stand on that, we need a balanced council because most of you are not being represented. The only people that are being represented are the special interests, and those are the things that I read to you here. It's not bullshit. It's true. It's what's happening. So if you care, run for council. Get off your ass and do it. But most importantly, be kind to yourself. Be good to each other. Together we can get it done. Bye for now.